And change in net working capital is simple. Ending net working capital minus beginning net working capital. Now, when we solve problems, keep in mind that you can calculate cash flow from assets two different ways, depending upon what's available to you. You're going to use either one. So let's do some problems, and I'll send you guys home because it's getting colder out there. Okay. Let's get this one. We know the sales, costs, interest paid, depreciation, tax rate. Whenever we talk about tax rate, unless it's specified otherwise, it's an average tax rate. At the beginning of the year, firm had retained earnings of that, common stock of that. At the end, firm has retained earnings of 164.7 plus common stock of that. What is the amount of dividends paid for the year? It's like all of that, what's my answer? It sounds like that, right? Well, let's kind of think about it. We want to know dividends. The only identity that we know of that involves dividends has to do with how do we distribute that income that we have. I made $100 this year. I paid $10 in dividends. The rest I added to my retained earnings. That's the only identity that we know involving dividends. So net income, which we're going to shorten to NI, equals dividends paid plus change in retained earnings, or RE. RE is the retained earnings. All right. So if I can figure out net income and change the retained earnings, solving for dividends is not a problem. So let's see how we can figure those out. First things first, net income. Do we have the items to calculate net income? Yes. Sales, cost, depreciation, interest paid, tax rate. So I can write net income as sales minus costs. And in this book, whenever it says costs, it's talking about costs other than depreciation and interest expense. Minus interest, minus depreciation. That part is earnings before taxes, right? If I multiply that with 1 minus tax rate, I'm home. Technically, I can be pedestrian. I can calculate the taxes first, then deduct it, but hey, this is much easier. And since OneNote also acts as a calculator, sales 264,200, costs 185,600, interest I know 11,200, depreciation 36,900 close parentheses 1 minus, and I know the tax rate. And even in OneNote you can write that as 34%, and internally converts that into a decimal, equals, that's net income. So, yes?
What do you do with minus tax? What do you do with minus tax?
One is the earnings before tax, minus, basically for each dollar of earnings before tax, I'm going to pay the tax rate. Okay? For each dollar, I'm going to pay 34 cents. If I multiply the whole thing, one is the gross tax rate is the tax, one minus the tax rate is net. I mean, you can think of this as earnings before tax minus taxes, and taxes are earnings before tax times tax rate.
Is that supposed to be 364, 200, or 264? Your sales, or your start the equation?
Oh, thank you. I have no guarantees that I'm going to see things right. That's your business. You know, I'm 58 and almost and a half years old, so I'm going to make mistakes. And please, I absolutely love it when you correct my mistakes. It could be a simple mistake like that or a complicated. Doesn't matter. There's not going to be, even if you're wrong, I love it, okay? The only question that you don't ask in this class, the only stupid question is the one you didn't ask. There are no stupid questions. Because questions means you did not understand something or something is wrong. If you didn't understand something, something is wrong. Which means I haven't done my job. You have to let me know that. If you simply stay there silent, other than the blank expression in your face that I may be able to catch, with 10 students, that's easy to do so. In my upper level classes, and I know whether or not each student gets it. But with 30, there is a certain range of my gazing. I may not be able to catch it.
Since you changed that,
Oh yeah,
sales, shouldn't that change the?
yes, it should. That's the beauty of Excel. Had I done this in Excel, all I had to do is change the sales number. It would have updated automatically. Here, OneNote is like a simple calculator. I just didn't want to set up an Excel sheet for that. That's why I use that one. It's like doing it in your head. If you change the number, you have to redo it. So I need to figure out change in retained earnings. Well, change in retained earnings is simple. Ending retained earnings plus minus beginning retained earnings. Do we have those? At the beginning of the year, they had 171.5. Common stock is not retained earnings. That's basically capital. So that's a number that you should ignore. At the end of the year, they had 164.7 minus, where are you? 171.5 the retained earnings actually decreased. You can pay dividends more than what you made here. There is no law against it. Dividends are a choice of the Board of Governors, Board of Directors. They decide to pay their shareholders $10 billion, even though they made only one. Who are you to say no? They're returning cash to the shareholders. Then dividends are actually net income minus change in RE, which is 130 minus, I know it's a plus, but I'm being anal about it. 6,800, 26,930. That should be one of the answers, right? And if you check it correctly, you may find 50,000 minus 6,800, 76,930 as one of the answers or something like that. I don't know. But key is, we wrote down what we know. You want to know dividends? What equation or identity do we know that involves dividends? Then let's figure out components of that. Okay, let's do another one. Okay. All right. Pays semi-annual dividends totaling 13,000 per period. Semi-annual means twice a year. So, what are the dividends for the year? 2,600. We're looking for cash flow to stockholders. Dividends minus net new equity. Okay, there were no new shares issued, and they repurchased $50,000 worth of common stock. So net new equity is negative 50,000. Equity has gone down by 50,000. So 2,600 minus 50,000.
Supposed to be 26,000 for the 1,300.
Oh, thank you. That's 13,000. And I'm gonna be pedestrian. $76,000. Oh, we just did that. 19. Okay. Operating cash flow problem.